Hey Maggie, hey Hugh. Thanks for joining me for another teardown. How are you?
Good.
Good. Getting the holiday spirit.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why we're doing so many teardowns in the holiday spirit, counting down to the end of the year. We have a new one for today, which is Slumberkins. Have any of you seen this website before?
I am not familiar.
No. I've spent a few minutes on it, but I don't know much more than y'all do. So I think it'll be fun to just kind of jump in. So, first of all, we get a pop up. Y'all know how we feel about pop ups here at The Good. What are your thoughts so far?
I mean, generally, we find that pop ups aren't that effective when we are presenting them once a user just first comes to the site, when they don't really know what your product is yet. They're not incentivized to get 10% off their purchase if they don't know what their purchase is yet.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sort of like, let me discover something that I might actually want before you offer to give me 10% off. I might be more apt to give you my email or phone number, it looks like we can give at a later time there.
There's also the lost opportunity. Like if I close this pop up, do I lose that 10% off forever?
Are you nervous about getting that discount or not getting it, Hugh?
I don't know. I got to figure out what my purchase is going to be.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I often close these and then I try to go to the footer to give an email later and then the discount's gone. So at a certain point just feel like, wow, I really lost that discount. Okay. Let's move on past the pop-up. What do you think you can do here? What would you come here for? That's a question we usually ask user testers right off the bat. What do you think you can do here, Hugh?
So I'm seeing help little ones understand and manage their emotions with approachable tools. And I can see that the plush toy is like very prominently featured. It's the only thing with color, so that kind of draws my eye there.
Yeah, I agree. I see the word tools, but I see a toy and I'm kind of like, is this a system? Is it just toys that they're using a weird name for? Maggie, what do you think they offer?
Well, I'm seeing shop as kind of the first links that they're offering me, but I'm also seeing free resources and teacher tools. So I'm guessing that there's more that they offer than just the toy.
Same. Yeah, I'm getting a vibe of a like educational component because it says something about teachers. There's some resources and there's a toy, but I'm not quite sure what else there is right now. And I think that I would say, depending on what they do offer, is the number one thing that we like to see when we get to a new website on the homepage is just above the fold. Can we tell exactly not only what you do best, but maybe like what you're best at? So I don't know what I would rate them so far based on what they offer, but I'm feeling a little bit of vagueness for both of you and for myself. Should we scroll a little? Oh, go ahead, Hugh.
I'm kind of interested in this our routine at the bottom because that's kind of
Oh, nice.
peeking up above the fold a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I like that as well. I think designers tend to like these like full bleed images, but I love it when we get just a little peek of what's below the fold because then we don't get a false bottom and we know we can scroll. And I love these little bubbles here. They're giving you something. So let's see. Our collections support a full range of early emotional well being. They're using the word collections, and here again, not really sure what a collection is. We saw the word tools, we saw collections. So they're supposed to help folks interact, connect, and reflect. Any thoughts on this section so far?
I don't know if it's going to be like one tool that does all of these things or if it's going to be many tools with specific purposes.
Yeah, good point. And I'm kind of wondering who is supposed to interact, connect, and reflect. Is this for children? Is this for me and my child? Is this for the student or classroom setting? So I'm not really sure what this is. This might be an opportunity for them to cut down on a little bit of text here in favor of just kind of telling us what they're offering or showing us even better yet. Maggie, any thoughts on this section?
I was just going to say that I like the movement. It really draws my eyes there, but I find that it's kind of distracting me from what the content
Yeah.
actually is, and the content isn't really doing much to tell me what I'm going to see.
Yeah, for sure. So there could be a little bit like good drawn, but not a lot of payoff for this section. Like I'm reading more, but I'm still really not sure what is being offered. And this is kind of that balance. Like you want to tell folks what they're going to get out of your product, but I think we also just need to like demystify a little bit. Like tell people what you do. What are we actually offering here so that they can decide if it's right for them. Okay, now I see something about creatures. So that's kind of validating our thoughts earlier around this might be a toy. find the perfect creature for your kiddo. There's a creature quiz. Love quizzes as a way to get to know a product space, but in this case, not sure what that's going to be. Give the gift of emotional well being. Make the season of celebration meaningful moments with your little ones. Shop now. So again, we're getting some validation that we can shop, but not sure what else we're getting beyond the plush toys. Any other thoughts on the homepage?
I guess just the quiz, that's often a recommendation we'll make to some of our clients that like they should have some sort of quiz to help their new users kind of figure out what product's
Mhm.
right for them. So it just seems like that could have been emphasized maybe in the hero area or just give me a little bit more context there.
Yeah, good point. And I actually see it. It's the last thing on this menu, which is interesting. Usually we give the first and last place in a menu the most important things. So I wonder if they know that and that's why the quiz is there. I don't know. What do you think? You want to take the quiz?
I want to find my creature.
You want to find a creature? Okay, let's do it.
I also I don't really know what the creatures look like. I've only seen
Two of
two so
them.
far.
Yeah, for sure. So maybe that would make us want to go a little bit deeper, get a better picture of those. All right, let's take the creature quiz. So this is one of those funny moments where they're kind of asking us to ask. Like we're here because we want to take the quiz, so I don't really know why I should have to click a button that says get started, right?
Mhm.
I like that this is probably one of the most clear ways they've described their product so far. Teaches kids to identify and support their all their emotions. So I want to find a creature for I have a kiddo in mind. So maybe I'll go through this with her in my mind. She's 4 years old and she's learned to say, "Mama, I'm sad." So she's learning about her emotions, but always more learning she could do. Okay, so first question, age. One thing I noticed that she's 4, and so she could fall into one of these 2 groups. There are some best practices around that. I don't know, Maggie, you're smiling. You probably know what I'm going to say here.
I don't know which one you'd select if your child is 4.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not shopping for myself, so I can rule that out. I think, yeah, it would be a little easier for me if I could just put her in one bucket, but I'll say 4, she's 4.5, so maybe 4 to 6. What skill is most important to you and your little ones? So this is interesting because it's a checklist. Oh, and I don't even know what I clicked. I kind of want to go back. Whoops. So it looks like a boxes, so it looks like I can check off multiple options, but it's only giving me option for one at a time and no option to go back if I accidentally clicked something. So not the best in terms of submitting form practices.
You also kind of lose sight of all of the choices that you've made. Like I
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
you picked on that first one. It's kind
Yeah, I'd love some validation that says, "Good job. You've submitted 2 of however many answers," and gives me some context for where I am in this. Is this 10 questions long, 30, 100? Is it 5? I don't know how far done I am. So I've already made a mistake and I kind of feel like I'm doing this wrong. So I might abandon at this point and start over, but I don't know how much progress I'll lose. Is your child experiencing any of the following? Big changes, adoption, bullying? Well, I mean, a lot of people are going through big changes with, the coronavirus and the times that we're in. So let's talk about big changes. Shopping as a relative. That one's pretty easy. I know who I am. And then the classic enter your email to see your results. What would you do at this point, Maggie?
I right away I'm looking at skip this step because I know I can still see it without giving my email. So that's what I would do. It's kind of nice to give people that option if they're just not ready yet to give their email because at this point we still haven't seen a product page. So I may not be confident yet that I want to give you my email address.
Yeah, good point. I really love the option to give an email address in certain situations when I feel like I'm going to lose my information, like in a form. Giving an email is a great way to say, get this information, save it for later. You don't have to fully process everything we're about to show you. So that's great when the results on the other side feel really worthwhile. But at this point, I think I could probably, if I decide that I don't like this particular creature, come back to it later and find it on my own. So I'm going to go ahead and skip. Right, let's see what creature we got. The fox for family change. Interesting page here. It doesn't quite look like a product page. It almost looks like a blog. We can't really see anything above the fold. I kind of was hoping for more. How do you think this payoff is, Hugh?
I I just looking above the fold, I'm only getting a picture, which is
Right.
it answers the question like what do the products look like, but it doesn't give me the flavor text about the fox or why the fox represents family change.
Yeah, for sure. So that's what I'm hoping to see below the fold. This is also the first time I think we really get a strong indication that the creatures have a relationship to a story, and that's how they're giving kind of this learning experience. So I feel like this is a book. I'm not sure. It kind of looks like a card here, and maybe they go together.
It was
But
teased earlier, I think, that there are these stories that go along with them. I think it was
mhm.
in the section with like the animated.
Okay, so Hugh paid closer attention during the animation section of the journey. But I mean, yeah, that's a great point because a lot of users don't read. Like the number one advice we give to our clients when they first come to us is like, how can we say the same amount of information on the same page with just fewer words? Because we know people don't read. And I guess I'm guilty of not reading on that page as well. So Hugh knew there was a book in store, but I'm feeling a little surprised and delighted. That sounds like it could offer like a lot of value to this kiddo that I have in mind. They tell us a little bit about the fox, provides guidance and tools for both parent and child when coping with big feelings and emotions. So yeah, if I went through this quiz honestly, which I did, except for that one question, that I accidentally skipped, I'm feeling like, yeah, this actually might be great for the person that I'm shopping for. And we get some alternatives here. I feel like I'd love a little context though for why I'm getting three options. Maggie, I know you've tested a lot around like how we're showing recommendations. What are some ways we might show that? Something like recommended for you, people also liked.
Yeah,
Um,
anything that kind of just gives me some context to why you're showing me three options. I assume these are other things that you're guessing that the person I'm shopping for will benefit from based on my quiz answers, but these could just be other popular products. I just don't really know if they're personalized to me.
yeah, for sure. So after we've put in all this work, it would be great to know that these are also for me. But I think at this point I would click shop now. So I want to check out this Fox. Oh, and this is actually a family change series. So that wasn't quite as expected for me. Did you guys think that we were going to land on this Fox page?
No, I was kind of expecting that would take me to the product page, but I guess Shop Now does kind
Okay.
of set that expectations, and maybe I was just thinking because it would just be a product since we took a quiz for a
Yeah.
product.
So yeah, and maybe that's just a problem of priming. Like the shop now call to action is only slightly vague, right? So how could we tell folks kind of what they're getting into a little bit better before they actually land on that page? Maybe that shop now call to action could say something about like what they're actually going to see, like shop the family change collection. What would you do at this point?
Well, I like that they're providing a little bit of context for each of their products so we can kind of see what they are, but I still feel like I have to do a lot of reading to kind of understand which of these products within this collection is going to be the right fit for me.
Yeah, for sure. So this is pretty short and sweet from the Family Change collection, but you're noting the skill building crews and some of the names of the products are helping you kind of navigate.
Yeah, I'm seeing some of them are called like kin, and then there's snuggler. And I guess I'm just kind of trying to figure out what the difference between those are.
Yeah, for sure. So to me, it kind of registers. The pictures are really helping me. I'm seeing like individuals, bundles, and then some like other options down the road. I love these promoted filters we have here, promoted groupings. What are you registering these as, Hugh?
I do really like them because they actually give you a good overview of like all of the different, emotions or thoughts that you're trying to deal with. I kind of would have liked to see this going into the quiz, like,
Mm.
hey, here's kind of what we're evaluating, and so we're going to find which of these is right for you.
Yeah, I like that. And just giving folks more context and these icons are really playful and fun and I'm not sure if they're helping me really like connect to conflict resolution, but I'm starting to build the stories in my mind. So, yeah, I agree. These are fun and engaging and I kind of want to dive in and see what else they're offering, but I was pretty interested in that fox. So, let's just hit like the product page and see what this looks like. So, this is where I thought we were going to land a little bit earlier in the experience. I feel like it's pretty standard. What are you guys seeing?
Yeah, it's kind of giving me all the information I'd be looking for, the price, the color options, a lot of photos. So already I'm getting a lot of
Mhm.
the information I'd be looking for just above the fold on a product page to kind of evaluate the options.
Yeah, and that's a really great attribute that we generally look for in product pages, especially if any companies are doing any kind of paid search or Google Shopping. We want to see things like the description above the page, the product price, if there's another payment method, if there's a collection that links out, great. So it's following a lot of the kind of best practices.
One thing that I'm noticing is they have view testimonials in this really kind of faint looking font. At least it looks pretty light on my
Oh, wow.
screen. And I would expect if these are customer testimonials that I might see some sort of star rating or number of reviews or something like that. So I guess I'm assuming based on what I'm seeing here that maybe they just don't have reviews at this point.
Yeah, I love reviews. I love when I can see them above the fold, especially if they're not all 5 stars and a few of them look, we know that users trust reviews more when they're actually missing half a star once in a while or more. So yeah, the testimonials are interesting. I wonder if this is going to be a jump scroll or a new page, but generally what we like to say about testimonials is they should be on the way, not out of the way. So let's not make people work too hard to actually find the testimonials. Let's put them on the product pages or on the homepage, things like that. Yeah, so at this point, I think my questions are mostly around like how this actually works. Like, is it, did they work with child psychologists to kind of build the content of these? Like, how are they measuring success? So, like, proof in numbers, like, how many other people are loving this product? And then how does it evolve over time? It's all questions that I would kind of be looking to understand on this page. But the page is feeling pretty short and sweet to me.
Something
As in,
that I haven't really seen so far is the book. And I feel like a big draw for these is like you have the product and you have the story that goes along with it, but most of the images, most of the thoughts, I feel like have been about like the plush toys.
yeah,
But maybe we
I
should
love
put
that
them
feedback.
in the right
I
place.
think
Yeah.
as a person who buys books for a couple specific kiddos regularly, I definitely skim the pages just to make sure some of the messaging kind of like matches my values and is all stuff that you would want that kid to learn. So I'm wondering if for this particular product, they might benefit from a product page that expands on the images a little bit more. Like what we really want to know is like, this is going to really build learning, help bonding, help this little kiddo understand their feelings. And at this point, yeah, like the images are drawing us in, but they're almost like an afterthought the way they're treated on this page versus some of the other kind of like more sales focused stuff.
Like if there was maybe like a log line for each story, then I could, you know, read the short blurb about the story and say like, yes, this like connects to me or connects to the issue that we're trying to face right now.
Yeah, I love that. Any other final thoughts on the product pages? All right. Well, thanks so much for joining for another teardown. It's been a really fun site and overall matches a lot of convention, but definitely always opportunity.